Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. Today is a channeled message from Ra, so Egyptian god Ra, god of the sun. Kind of at times he's like associated with like the falcon, or other birds of prey. I haven't channeled him in a while, so he's actually been reaching out to me, and I was like, okay, I'll channel you. So he starts off by saying, "I have been waiting patiently for your undivided attention." And so when he comes to me, he's come to me in a lot of different ways. At this time, he came to me like an Egyptian man. So he looks like an Egyptian man. He's got like black makeup, essentially, around his eyes. He touches my feet, both of them, lovingly. And then it was kind of cool. I don't know why I said it was kind of cool, but so he touches my feet, and he must have like sent a little bit of healing or protective energy through my body, because one of my hands started kind of like shaking, and then it went like that, as if an energy just shot out of me. So he kicked something out of me, which probably wasn't supposed to be there. Ra is clearing my energy while I speak to him, but he's like trying to be, I'm going to say he's trying to be subtle. It's actually more comfortable for me to have something like leave my hand that way. A lot of times my guides move my shoulders, or like they'll move my head to the side so that something can exit out the throat, because for whatever reason, I don't know the reason behind this, but the throat chakra and the physical throat is a easy way for energies that don't belong in us to exit us. I don't know why that is. So if you're somebody who you cough a lot, you sneeze a lot, you burp a lot, you clear your throat a lot, that's all potentially. I mean, if you're sneezing or coughing or yawning or burping, you're probably releasing an entity, to be honest. It could be trauma. It's probably an entity, because that's just kind of the way our body responds to those types of things. So the thing kicks out of my hand, whatever it is. I didn't ask. It's very normal. I want to normalize this for all of you. It's very normal for us to have energies that are not in our best interest to enter into us at times. And so if you have a lot of protections on your energy, like if you've done the black magic clearing and protection session, or if you've done the protection and blessings, or if you have like a protective amulet from me from like back in the day, those are gonna block anything really crazy. What they can't block is demonic energy. And so most likely when things are being kicked out of you, it's demonic energy, because we're sharing that same realm, unfortunately, with the demons. The demons are in first, second, and third dimension. Earth is in the third. We overlap. So it is very commonplace and not shocking for energies to wander into ours during the day. And if you use like the daily protection ritual, that'll clear everything out. Of course, they can wander back in. Mostly they can wander back in if your frequency is lower, right? So if you're worrying, if you're afraid, if you're being critical, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling angry, that's when you're at like a nice 3D or maybe even 2D frequency, and so they can join with us quite easily. It's very normal. So he kicked out something, probably a demon. And then after that, I could feel Ra in my back heart chakra. So you actually have like a front side and a back side of pretty much all your chakras, not your crown, not your root, but the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, even your throat has has a back chakra version to it. There's kind of like a front and a back. So he's messing around in the back of my heart, kind of in between my shoulder blades. And I told him, I can feel you back there. Is it a mess? Because it felt like it was a mess the way he was doing it. And he's like, no, it's raw. No. He says it in a way that is reassuring, but indicates that perhaps it is in fact a mess back there. Ra is not the type to admit difficulty. And as I was like typing this into my phone, because this is how I channel. So it's happening to me, and as it's happening to me, I will literally write it in my phone because I have the memory of a goldfish, and 5 minutes from now, I won't know what happened. And part of that is how I've always been, and part of that is the fact that I'm connected into another dimension a lot of the time, and so it's harder to recall what's going on here. Part of that is just the nature of channeling. So anyways, so as I'm typing, Ra is not the type to admit difficulty. He grabs onto my left foot in a very loving way. And so if you've been watching me for a little bit, you'll know that my guides do move my body, and they will move the right side of my body as a yes, and the left side of my body is a no. And so sometimes it's like the shoulder will go up. Sometimes it's like my eye will blink. Sometimes my hand will do something. And so yes, no. Anyways, so Ra, he grabs the foot that means no. As in, no, do not write that about me. Which, it makes me laugh because that's how, not all gods and goddesses, but that's how some of them are. That's very consistent with Ra. Ra's like, no, like, present a good image of me, because he's got ego, because he's a god. Gods and goddesses are capable of having ego, although if you communicate with like Kuan Yin, I don't feel ego on her. I can feel the tiniest bit of darkness because she's supposed to have that, but I don't feel ego, which is kind of bonkers. So he's like, no, don't write that about me. And I was just kind of being defiant with him. I was like, I will write what I want. It's the truth. I'm going to write whatever I want. So I just left it there. And so he grabs onto my left foot again for no. And when he grabbed onto it, it's like love energy is what I'm going to call it. Your guides can put this into like one particular location on you. They could put it into like your entire energy body, but he's basically giving love energy into my foot, and it feels like endorphins. It feels like how your body feels when you're getting like a really nice massage. So he's basically like trying to persuade me, right? Because I'm like, no, I'm going to write what I want. And he grabs my foot and he's like, but feel all this love energy. And then so I'm like, all right, I'm going to test him to prove my point. And so I was like, Ra, was it a mess? Was it a mess in that back heart chakra? And then he does this really funny thing where he starts to say no. He's like, and then he's like, and he's like, yes. Like he's like going through the motions. And so he kind of like begrudgingly forces himself to say, yes, it's a mess back there. But it's the way he did it was very playful, very funny. I was laughing out loud at him. He was just like playing into the conversation to make me laugh. He's got a great sense of humor. He knows what makes each one of us tick, and he likes delivering that to us. So he has ego, but it's really balanced because of how much he loves. And so he's kind of a rare or unique guide for me, because he's one of the only guides that very clearly displays ego, but his vibration's so high that I'm like, yeah, this is fine. Usually, if you can detect ego, you're getting into something iffy. Let's see. And so I asked him, do you have a message for me? He brings love energy into my heart. So now he's just like doing what he wants. He puts the love energy into my heart and I can feel it kind of expand out and it feels really nice. He's probably trying to prove a point, right? Because I told you guys I haven't channeled him in a while. It kind of feels like he's like, why haven't you channeled me? Like, look at how wonderful I am. Look at all this love energy I could give you, and you're missing out on this. He is likely trying to remind me of why he is worthy of my effort. And the reason I say worthy of my effort is, and this, it may surprise you. I've said this before, but if you haven't heard me say it before, this might surprise you. Channeling and connecting to the spiritual world does take physical energy. And I'm assuming that's because I'm still like in 3D. I'm assuming it's not meant to take as much energy as it does, but there's only a certain amount of time every day that I can channel. And then after that, I start feeling physically drained and I'm like, all right, I gotta back off from the spiritual world. I gotta refill before I go back in. And so I was like, I'm channeling for clients and I'm channeling for, like I am with Raw, getting information messages for Patreon or YouTube or Medium. And so I was telling him, I'm like, this leaves less and less time for me, leaves less and less, I didn't say time, less and less energy for me to just like chat with my guides, even though I really love chatting with my guides. And so I told him this. I'm like, my energy is going in a lot of different places. Like, I don't really have that much extra energy for it. And he grabs my left foot again. He's like, no, because he was saying no to me, saying it's leaving less and less energy for me to chat with my guides. He's like, no, because he knows I'm in charge of my schedule. I'm in charge of my life, just like you are in charge of your schedule. You're in charge of your life. You're in charge of how you prioritize your life. I'm in charge of mine. And so he's reminding me, he's like, no, you can prioritize however you need to prioritize. And so he's not going to let me kind of fall into the, oh no, I'm a victim. I have to do it this way. He's like, no, you don't. And so he told me that, and he was smiling with his energy. And this is very consistent with interacting with a god or a goddess, because they are all about empowerment. So they're not going to let you be like, my life is horrible and there's nothing I can do to change it. They're going to be like, yes, you can. You can definitely change things. And then so Ross says, if you want more energy, just ask. And I was like, I said to him, wish granter, which is like, it's hard to explain the way I talk to my guides, because I use very little language, because we're communicating with energy mostly. But basically, he's like, if you wanted more energy, just ask. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're the god who likes to grant wishes. And so I call him wish granter. And I was like, okay, you can like do that right now? And he's like, yeah. And I was actually feeling rather tired. So I was like, okay. Let's see if you can give me more energy. Like, let's see if you can impress me with this. And so he does what he does. And afterwards, I felt more balanced and my head felt more clear. The tired feeling is gone, but there wasn't like a burst of energy like I was expecting, or like I was hoping, I guess. And then so Ross says, you want a burst of energy? He's like smiling at me. And I'm like, okay, like a tiny one, maybe? Like, I'm like, as long as it doesn't, I don't want to regret this. I'm like, if you give me a burst of energy, I don't want to be extra tired later. And he's like, it's not going to do that. I feel something going on in my crown chakra. And I was like, are you plugging me into something? Which, it sounds a little weird, but honestly, it probably wasn't very far from the truth. Not sure what he was plugging me into. I start to feel more alert, a little more energy swirling underneath. And then what happened was that, so he gives me this like burst of energy, and I can feel my soul has received the burst of energy, but my body still feels like tired. And I was like, oh, I wanted it to be for my body. And he says, I do not want to interfere with your body. It feels tired because you will need to sleep soon. It was like towards the end of the day. He said, I will not ever do anything to hurt you. And then I got interrupted by my 3D world, like my real life. Things were going on. And so I got pulled away from channeling. And I come back to him again later and I said, I never got your message. At that point, I'm already in bed. It's like the final moments before I fall asleep. And I'm like, hey, I never got your message. And Ra uses his energy. He's like a blanket and he like lays across me and it feels like soothing. It's like very like nurturing energy. He radiates energy that makes me feel safe and loved. I'm like trying to hold back a yawn. And then I feel him because he goes from feeling like a blanket and I'm like, laying on my side. And I feel him move to the other side of the pillow where it's like his face is facing mine. And I told him, I'm like, you're not even trying to give me a message. You're not even trying. And he's like, maybe I just want to hang out. And it's like, I know he's not even going to try to give me a message because I'm tired. And so he's not even going to bother with it. But I was like, well, I'm just going to pressure him. I'm just going to have fun with this. And I was like, Ra, just give me a message. And he's like, nope. And I'm like, come on, I'm awake. And when I said, come on, I'm awake, my eyes were shut. And I swear he did that to me, but my eyes were shut and I fell asleep. So I had to go back to him again later. So the next morning, after I get all settled in, I'm like, hey, Ra, I'm awake. I'm ready. He touches my heart chakra so that I know he is there. The hardest part of channeling, if you channel or if you want to channel, the hardest part of channeling is the first 2 sentences because the mind you're like in the biggest battle with your mind because you're trying to figure out, all right, where's the beginning of this energy, right? Where's the beginning of this energy? You're trying to find the first couple words because once you get into it, then you're like on a vibe and so it just comes out. But the hardest part is it's like finding a string in the dark. Where's the string? Where is this? So the first 2 sentences are the hardest of the whole, whatever you're channeling. I rely heavily on my other gifts normally. Like I'll be like, okay, show me a picture, show me a visual, help guide me into this energy. But Ra did not give me anything. He truly wanted me to like channel it. And so this is what he said. This is more natural to you than anything else. So he's talking about channeling. This is more natural to you than anything else. This way of communicating is your first language as a soul. You cannot fathom how many times we have spoken or how enjoyable it is to merely exist in the same space as each other. My message is clear. I am here for you, and I respond quickly. There is nothing more important to me than my relationship with each of you. He's talking to you guys. My satisfaction is my time with you and others. I will not let you forget me because I cannot forget you. I am not afraid to persist to gain your attention because my joy is shared time and shared experience with you. I like to see you happy. I like to see you feel loved and feel heard. There are many lessons for each of you during this incarnation, but I am not one of them. I am a refuge from your difficulties. There's more of a message, but I want to pause. And so his ego came in for a second because I really, really, really love Amun-Ra. And Amun-Ra is the darkest guide that I channel. He's not dark. He's light. He's a god. He's a good guy. But he will teach me like a bad cop. He will teach. I don't know if that translates for everybody. He will, people talk about like good cop, bad cop. Like you have a good cop parent and a bad cop parent. So one's like the nice one, and one's like the one that teaches you the hard way and does the tough love. Amun-Ra is not nurturing. He's like, we're doing this the hard way. We're gonna have you learn this. And so there are guides like that where you will go to them, and they are not the guide you go to for refuge, for nurturing. Ra is like, I'm not like Amun-Ra. There's plenty of hard lessons in your life. I'm not one of them. You come to me when you need love, protection, safety, all of these things. So he was having an ego moment. He was doing a comparison. I'm going to continue his message. He says, loving guides are seeking you. We do not shy away. We are not deterred by your doubts of us. We are not deterred if you speak badly against us. We want you to know us again while in the body you are currently in. Your mind cannot fathom how deeply you are loved. Your mind cannot fathom the eternal. We have loved you before, and we love you now, and we always will love you. This is what it means to love unconditionally. All true love is unconditional. Your heart has been starved of this truth because there are not many on the earth who are able to love in that capacity. This will not always be the case. Love is growing. Love is contagious. When you connect with your guides, we infuse you with that love so that you may have a full cup to present to the world. We will support you in feeling loved and in being loving. When you are not loving, we will still be there, and we will support you then until you feel balanced enough to feel loving again. Healing is a process, and make no mistake about it, you are on earth to heal yourself. It is difficult work, but it makes you stronger. It is painful work, but it makes you more loving. You are not your trauma or any of the bad things that have happened to you. And so we help you to heal from these and release these. We help you to learn from the difficulty. We help you to nurture yourself back to wellness. Healing is a beautiful process, and it is one that you deserve to go through again and again. Each time, something new is revealed. Each time, something old is released. Healing is the process of discovering who you have become. When you need encouragement and love, we are here, waiting and ready. That is Ra's message. So he is doing a call for everyone to reach out to their guides, that your guides are there to refill you. They're there to love on you and nurture you and make you feel safe and make you feel like you have secure ground to stand on, right? So that is Ra's message. And I know we took a long time to get there, and I normally don't, give you guys all the background, but sometimes you really just got to work hard to get these channeled messages. And so the reason Metatron wanted me to give you that huge front end story about me asking Ra for a message and him like touching my toe and, doing all this stuff is if you are interested in channeling, you must pursue it. You must persist. You must keep coming back to get the message. It's not, look at me. I channel 8 hours a day. I mean, I channel, guys, day in, day out. Like, this is my full-time job. This is what I do in my free time. Like, this is what I love. I'm doing it nonstop. And look how hard I had to work to get a message from Raw. Now, was the message worth it? Yeah, absolutely. He like hit it out of the park. He gave a really good message. But don't be put off if you're trying to channel and it's hard. It's hard to get those first couple sentences. It's hard to get aligned with the frequency. But just keep trying and it will pay off. So that's what Metatron wanted me to point out. I'm asking him what he wants me to talk about right now. What do you want me to talk about right now? Gosh, now I have to channel him because I don't know what he wants. I should ask before I get started. Do you? Having Odin clear me right now. Oh, that's what you wanted. Thank you. I couldn't understand well, I understood it, but I didn't understand why. But the why just clicked in my head. So he was saying black magic clearing, and I'm like, and so the reason I got confused is I'm actually there's a session right now that's available called Black Magic Clearing and Protection. I got confused because there's a level 2 session that is it's not on the website. It's available now because it's complete, but it's not on the website yet for you to click on. I'm going to be putting out a bunch of videos to explain what that service is because it's massive. I was like, there's no way you want me to talk about that right now. And he didn't. It wasn't about the new service that's coming out. He wants me to talk about Black Magic Clearing and Protection, which has been out for maybe 2 years. So it has come to my attention with, I think, about 4 different people have reached out to me as clients, and they've been having problems. And Metatron will tell me they need the black magic clearing. And I'm like, what? And the reason I'm saying what is because I'm like, haven't you had that yet? Like, it blows my mind that we have like returning clients that haven't had that session. So I want to talk to you about that. If you came up to me as a brand new client, you'd never had a service with us, and you're like, Jennifer, I will buy 1 session from you my whole life. 1 session. That's it. And I'm never coming back. I would say, get the Black Magic Clearing and Protection. If you can do 1 session with me, do that one. And everyone's like, black magic? I don't do black magic. I don't know anybody who does black magic. Like, why is this important? Half of the session is protection into your energy, which is like so crucial. If for some reason you cannot afford that whole session, you could do protection and blessings, which is like half of that session. You could do that. But honestly, I've had clients come to me recently who have had the protection and blessing session. They never received the black magic clearing portion, and they're having problems. And the reason is that our timelines have been shifting around for Earth lately, probably the last couple months. But what I've noticed in like the past, I don't know, really? Past 4 weeks is what he says. In the past 4 weeks, people have been struggling with darker energies. And what's actually coming up right now is black magic that I'm actually going to be addressing in the next session that I make available, the level 2 black magic session. That stuff is starting to impact people, which it's kind of crazy because I'll always have like one client come to me and they're like, hey, I have this problem, and I'll create a new service to solve their problem. And when I do that, all of a sudden, other people with that problem start popping up. And it's because it's the timing. Metatron is bringing these services to life in the right timing, because this service didn't matter 2 years ago. These energies were not hitting us the way they are now 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's the timing of it. I think what this also means is that if you haven't had the black magic clearing and had that first level done, you're probably starting to feel that now in a way you haven't before. So if all of a sudden you're struggling with low vibrational energies, low vibrational thoughts, I'm trying to think how those might manifest for you. That's probably the best way I could describe it. You'll know. It's like all of a sudden something's off and you feel like you've gotten into a rut and you're like, why am I here all of a sudden? It's because if you have hexes on you, which are like curses, they're like low vibrational energies that are now part of your energy that follow you around lifetime to lifetime. You might have received a hex 20 lifetimes ago, and you might not be aware of it. You might not feel it. You might not notice an impact until you are in a certain place on your journey. Because as you evolve, as you grow, as your consciousness rises, you become more visible to darker energies. So if you are starting to wake up, the dark energies are like, how do we distract this person? How do we get them off of their journey? How do we slow them down? Well, you just kind of go in and just kind of activate one of those hexes. You kind of make the energies that are already part of them more pronounced. So if you're having stuff come up and you are interested in getting it cleared, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you want to reach out and ask questions about it, that is absolutely an option. If you, I mean, I have not told you a single thing about the level 2 yet. If for some reason you already know you're going to want that one, which I know some of you are, some of you already know, yeah, I want that. You can, if you want to message me now, I can schedule you in September, and you can pay for that over, in September and not now. I understand my schedule's insane right now, so I apologize for that. But I'll be doing more videos to explain those, because even if you don't get that session, the videos I put out, I think, will be very interesting to you, because they are giving me the history or the backstory of how the different kinds of black magic came to be. And this is like galactic black magic. This is black magic that originated on other planets. And some of the back information, I was like, what are you telling me right? It was kind of crazy. So some of those videos will definitely be interesting. So stay tuned for those, just if you want to be entertained, I suppose. Okay, this is everything I have for all of you. And I still feel like there's something else I'm supposed to do. This is like a disease that I have. No, you're so good. He says no. Okay, guys, this is everything that I have for you. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.